The House will come to order. This morning, the pledge will be led by Tori Passmore from Valencia Community College, Littleton, Colorado, and she is the guest of Representative Ransom.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Gregorio, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Paisley, Benavidez, Bird, Bockenfeld, Buck, Buckner,
Here, just take it. I got it.
Puenteo, Caraveo, Carver, Catlin, Champion,
maybe Sunday.
Coleman, Cutter, Duran, Escar, Exum, Froelich, Garnett, Geithner, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray,
And this year we did the two best.
Representative Gray,
Excused.
Herod, Holtorf, Putin, Humphrey. Representative Jackson is excused.
Excused.
Hawkes Lewis. Representative Hawkes Lewis. Kennedy. Representative Kennedy.
Excused.
Kip. Kraft Tharp. Landgraf. Larson. Liston. Lontine. McCluskey. McKean. McLaughlin. Melton.
This is just a script for this speaker.
Michelson Janae.
Kennedy is here.
Rep. Michelson Janae.
Excused.
Mullica. Neville. Pelton. Ransom. Rich. Roberts. Sane. Sandridge. Representative Sandridge.
Representative Sandridge. Excused.
Singer. Sirota. Snyder.
Soper is here. Oh, Soper is excused.
Sullivan. Tipper. Oh, I got it. Tutone. I got it. Valdez A. Valdez D. Van Winkle. Weissman. Will. Williams.
Ready for this? Let's do it.
Wilson. Woodrow. Young. Madam Speaker.
Thank you. With 60 present and 5 excused, a quorum is present. Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I move that the Journal of Monday, March 9th, 2020 be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard that the motion from the Journal for Tuesday, March 10th, be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. All those in favor, no. Motion passes. Boy, are they fired up today. Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Mama Speaker Pro Tem. Members, today we have guests from Excel Energy to my left who are participating in their annual day at the Capitol to learn about how we conduct business. Feel free to introduce yourselves as they enjoy meeting their legislators. Thank you all for coming. Let's give them a round of applause.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, on your desk is a blue ribbon. It's for Gannon, though if you'll wear it, thank you very much.
Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, make sure you're checking your calendar for Friday the 13th. I swear it'll be a good day. Appropriations will be meeting at 8 a.m. Check and make sure you have a bill. And if you have a bill and you're not there, you will be laid over. Also, I have asked permission of the Majority Leader to be excused tomorrow morning.
What did you say?
Permission to be excused tomorrow morning.
Oh, yes, okay. Any other announcements or introductions? Seeing none.
We'll do it after.
Okay. Seeing none, that brings us to third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1072.
House Bill 1072 by Representatives Arndt and Sane, also Senators Sonnenberg and Bridges, concerning a requirement that Colorado institutions of higher education study potential uses of emerging technologies to more effectively manage Colorado's water supply, and in connection therewith making an appropriation conditions on the receipt of matching funds from gifts, grants, and donations.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we're on third reading. I move for the passage of House Bill 1072 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1072 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Arndt, Baisley, Benavides, Coleman, Humphrey, McKean. Please close the machine. With 61 aye votes, 4 no votes, and 4 excused, House Bill 1072 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please, Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1001.
House Bill 1001 by Representatives Mullica and Larson, also Senator Bridges and Priola, concerning nicotine product regulations and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1001 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1001 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members please vote. Donald Valdez. Please close the machine. With 39 aye votes, 22 no votes, and 4 excused, House Bill 1001 is passed. Co-sponsors.
I'm going to refer.
Seriously? Please close the machine. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I move to refer Senate Bill 78 back to second reading, general orders. That's good. It's all good. It's all good. And Madam Speaker, if I may, it's just to add the amendment that adds all your dogs to the actual bill, but I want to be respectful of the decision that we made last week about substantive amendments on third reading.
All right. Seeing no objection, Senate Bill 78 will be referred to second reading. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of Senate Bill 86.
Senate Bill 86 by Senator Williams and Holbert. Also, Representative Snyder and McKean, concerning requirements associated with the expiration of legal authority to sell alcohol beverages and in connection therewith authorizing the Executive Director of the Department of Revenue to notify alcohol beverages licenses of an expiring license by any reasonable means as determined by rule and to establish a fee for renewal applications for license or permit renewals for alcohol beverages and fermented malt beverages.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 86 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 86 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and please vote. Please close the machine. With 61 aye votes, no votes, and 4 excused, Senate Bill 86 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Please read the title of House Bill 1302.
House Bill 1302 by Representative Lontine, concerning changes to improve the protection services for at-risk adults.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1302 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1302 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and members please vote. Please close the machine. With 39 aye votes, 23 no votes, and 3 excused, House Bill 1302 is passed. Co-sponsors. I'm fine. I'm fine. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1170.
House Bill 1170 by Representative Humphrey, also Senator Ransom, concerning authorization to drive military vehicles on roadways.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1170 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1170 on third reading and final passage. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members please vote. Baisley. Baisley. Oh, shoot. Okay, please close the machine. Never mind. Humphrey was going to be voting against his own bill, but we couldn't catch him. Okay. With 62 aye votes, no votes, and 3 excused, House Bill 1170 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. That brings us to second reading of bills, general orders. Representative Esgar. You all have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative Esgar will take the chair.
I got it, yes. Yes.
Okay. The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee reports are printed and in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads, and bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader. And the coat rule is relaxed. You're welcome. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of the House Bill 1216.
House Bill 1216 by Representatives Mullica, also Senator Janal, concerning the continuation of the State Board of Nursing and in connection therewith implementing the recommendations contained in the 2019 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Representative Mullica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move House Bill, I move House Bill 1216 and the Health and Insurance Committee report.
To the Health Insurance Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have an amendment to the Health and Insurance Committee report.
One moment, Representative Mullica. Members, it's getting a little loud in here. I'm having a hard time hearing the representative at the well. Please keep your conversations to a low. Thank you. Representative Mullica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L004 and ask that it properly be displayed.
Amendment L004 has been moved. Is properly displayed. Representative Mullica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Amendment L004, members, comes from a lot of stakeholding work, a lot of work between the doctors and the nurses. We worked on definitions around collaboration. It clarifies the definition of delegated medical function, distinguishes that between medical and nursing practice, changes the word from autonomous to independent. This helps get everyone on the same page and brings everyone in agreement and support of this bill. And I would ask for a yes vote on Amendment L004.
Is there any further discussion on Amendment L004? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Amendment L004. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. By a slim margin, the ayes have it. Representative Mullica to the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the committee, we worked on some amendments, making sure that we were focusing on those DORA recommendations, but also making sure that we were moving forward or advancing the Nurse Practice Act and the items that nurses can perform. And so with that, I would ask for a yes vote on the committee report.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of the Health Insurance Committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Mullica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to bring this bill to the chamber today. As an ER nurse myself, nurses obviously play a big role in the care of the citizens of Colorado in their most dire times. What this bill does is it allows nurses to continue to perform those acts and continue to care for patients in Colorado. It's a great bill. A lot of stakeholding, like I said, has gone into it to make sure that all members of the medical community are on board with this and are supportive of this measure. With that being said, I would ask for a yes vote on House Bill 1216.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1216? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1216. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1216 passes. Mr. Assistant Majority.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bills 1073 and 1221 until Friday.
Those bills will be laid over upon the request of the Assistant Majority Leader. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to House Bill 1179.
House Bill 1179 by Representative Harrod and Soper, also Senators Gardner and Lee, concerning the implementation of the Committee on Legal Services recommendations in connection with the legislative review of state agency rules.
Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1179.
To the bill.
Thank you. This is our rule review bill. It was drafted through the Office of Legal Services, and this basically extends the rules to May 15th, and then it also goes through, and the bill actually lists out the rules that we did not extend. I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1179? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1179. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. House Bill 1179 passes. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 87 until Friday.
At the request of the Assistant Majority Leader, that bill will be laid over. Mr. Gregorio, please read House Bill 1118.
House Bill 1118 by Representatives Larson and Titone, also Senator Heisey, concerning the penalties imposed on the driver of a motor vehicle who causes serious bodily injury to another person.
Representative Larson.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the Judiciary Report, or actually, and the bill. House Bill 1118.
There's no committee report. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this bill came out of a experience that one of my constituents had shortly after the end of last session. As many of you remember, we passed a bill last year brought to us by our esteemed colleague, Representative Roberts, regarding creation of a careless driving resulting in serious bodily injury to a vulnerable road user. That bill was passed on an overwhelmingly bipartisan majority. But unfortunately, shortly after the session, a constituent of mine was involved. He was hit by a careless driver and resulted in a serious bodily injury. But because he was in his car at the time, there was not a legal remedy available to the DA to give him a ticket for anything more than a 4-point careless driving ticket. And having remembered the bill that we passed last year, I felt that it was inappropriate that the protections afforded to a bicyclist were not afforded to somebody simply because they were sitting in their car. So this bill, very simply, builds upon the good work we did last year, just removes the specific clarification and just creates the careless driving resulting in serious bodily injury charge that will now be available for DAs to pursue should they choose to. And again, what we're doing here, we're creating a 12-point ticket, which will result in the loss of a license, but it is not a crime. It is very much, in my mind, proportionate to the real impact that they will have on that person's life if you cause serious bodily injury to another vulnerable road user. So with that, members, I ask for your support with this bill.
Representative Tatone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And yeah, this is a real, it's actually a deregulation bill in a sense, because if you look at the bill, this was very prescriptive as to what a vulnerable road user means. And there's this huge list of all of these different uses and items that people are riding. I mean, even if you're on a pogo stick, now you're included in this bill if you're out on the road. Thank you. And so, you know, we just wanted to make sure everybody was included and not just the people that are listed or the devices that are listed on this bill. You know, a sled, a wheelchair, a baby stroller. I mean, there's like let's get rid of that list. We'll make it simple, and we'll just include everyone. And I urge support on this bill.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1118? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1118. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, no. House Bill 1118 passes. Before you begin, Mr. Gregorio, members, it is getting a little loud in here. I'm getting some motions from people sitting in their chairs trying to listen that they cannot hear. So can we please keep it down and take our conversations to this side? Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to Senate Bill 114.
Senate Bill 114 by Senator Gardner, also Representative Tipper, concerning the Uniform Registration of Canadian Money Judgments Act.
Representative Tipper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 114.
To the bill, ma'am.
Senate Bill 114 is essentially a judicial efficiency bill. What it does is it says we are going to allow Canadian money judgments to be recognized in Colorado through a registration process rather than full-out judicial proceedings. In Canada, U.S. judgments are recognized in this way, so it would give reciprocity to this narrow group of judgments, and I ask for a yes vote on the
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 114? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 114. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, say no. Slim margin, the ayes have it. Senate Bill 114 passes. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to Senate Bill 134.
Senate Bill 134 by Senator Woodward and Zenzinger, also Representative Arndt, concerning the repeal of certain languages used to determine cash fund revenue that is derived from non-fee sources when calculating the amount of uncommitted reserves in a cash fund at the end of a fiscal year.
Representative McKean, could you please let Representative Arndt talk about her bill? Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 134.
To the bill.
So what this bill is an SRC bill, people, and it just trues up the timing of when we report the non-fee sources of cash fund revenue, which are, because it's been asked twice, it can be interest or transfers from the general fund.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 134? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 134. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 134 passes. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1296 and Senate Bill 85 until tomorrow.
At the request of the Assistant Majority Leader, those bills will be laid over. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title to House Bill 1329.
House Bill 1329 by Representatives Kipp and Sane, also Senator Todd and Lundin, concerning a departmental report to the General Assembly about unfunded programs that have not received any money for at least 6 fiscal years.
Representative Kipp.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a bill that is sort of a closet cleaning bill. What we are trying to do here is identify programs that have been unfunded in our state government for 6 years or more, and then provide a mechanism for eliminating those programs if it is deemed that they might be considered that they should be eliminated.
Representative Sane, before you begin, will you please move the bill?
We'll move the bill. I'll move House Bill 1239 and the State Affairs Committee report.
1329.
1329.
To the bill, Representative Sane.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to let Representative Kipp continue.
Representative Kipp, anything else to add?
That was it.
Oh, wow. This bill, let me tell you, members, I'm sorry, let me be recognized. Madam Chair.
Representative Sane.
Thank you. The reason why we're so excited, this bill is so fantastic. We actually beat the record in state affairs for having the fastest bill passed because it was so great. And it was unanimous. And to that effect, I'd like to see there's a picture I'd like to show you. It was so good that they declared it a masterpiece.
Wow. Not sure if there was permission for that, but members, please direct your attention to the screen. A very important message from Representative Sane.
And
Representative Sane.
I did have permission, Madam Chair. And then the next is a statement I just wanted to make sure you all saw as well, because we don't usually hear from this particular member very often. But Representative Humphrey said, I suspect my First Amendment rights may have been violated because I cannot vote yes on HB 1329 fast enough.
All righty then, back to the bill. Representative, is there any further discussion on House Bill 1329? Representative McKean.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Folks, if you read this bill, it has some language in it that is worth reading, is worth paying attention to. As we get toward the end of this, it says, departments need to figure out what these unfunded mandates have been. We need to take a look at whether or not they've ever been used, whether or not we need them. But then it comes back, and thank you, Representative Kipp, for highlighting this to me. It says that that the report would be provided to the applicable SMART Act Joint Committee of Reference, and a compilation of those reports should come to the Statutory Revision Committee. Then Section 2 goes on to say it authorizes the Statutory Revision Committee to recommend legislation to repeal an unfunded program included in the report. So last year, in fact, well, I should say this year, last interim, we had an interim committee taking a look at tax credits, taking a look at things that were either no longer used or used in a different way than they'd been intended. That came back, that interim committee had, I think, 19 bills that they wanted to offer, and some of those bills came to statutory revision, but they came there as a result of an analysis by the statutory revision folks that that's where they belonged. And I have not looked deeply enough into this to say whether or not we're starting to create statutory revision committee as a dumping ground for the place where we have too many bills. And so I have a concern that Section 2 in this bill is basically saying, hey, if we've got stuff we want to do, we're just going to let statutory revision do it. And so I think there needs to be an analysis here, and I would ask the sponsor, has there been an analysis of whether or not what bills you intend to bring are the purview of the Statutory Revision Committee? Did you hear my question? Okay, so the question was, has there been an analysis of whether or not the bills that would be brought through this process and delivered basically to statutory revision, are they the purview of the Statutory Revision Committee?
Representative Kipp, if you choose to respond.
Thank you. So what we did in this bill is we actually changed the language, and I'm sorry, let me track that down real quick. So where the bill says, in addition to other duties, the committee may, upon an affirmative vote by at least 7 legislative members of the committee and in accordance with subsection whatever, recommend legislation to repeal unfunded programs included in a report received. Right now, the purview of the Statutory Revision Committee is for obsolete or anachronistic language. So this does expand the authority slightly.
Representative McKean.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So let me actually quote from our staff. The Statutory Revision Committee is charged with making an ongoing examination of the statutes of the state and current judicial decisions for the purpose of discovering defects and anachronisms in the law and recommending needed reforms in order to modify or eliminate antiquated, redundant, or contradictory rules of law and to bring the law of the state into harmony with modern conditions. I would suggest that this is not the charge of the Statutory Revision Committee and therefore should find a new home for where these very useful items should go. But it should probably not be statutory revision.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1329? Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a concern about line 3 on page 4 that dictates to the Statutory Revision Committee what constitutes a supermajority to pass a bill about an unfunded mandate. I just don't think it's a good policy to have one piece of legislation that tells another committee and changes their voting rules. So the analogy would be if you're on a water bill and you say, well, this water bill, if referred back to the interim committee, could pass with this many votes. And it's changing the rules and the protocol of how another committee votes that's already set in statute when we establish the Statutory Revision Committee. So I might advocate for a second reading amendment.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I ask for a brief recess so the sponsors and the SRC members can discuss an amendment.
The House will stand in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1329 until tomorrow.
At the request of the Assistant Majority Leader, that bill will be laid over. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
You have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Gregorio, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report it as under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1118, House Bill 1179, House Bill 1216 as amended, passed on second reading and engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 114, Senate Bill 134, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on third reading and final passage. House Bill 1296, 1329, Senate Bill 85 laid over until 311 and 20 retaining their place on the calendar. House Bill 1073, House Bill 1221, Senate Bill 87 laid over until 313 and retaining their place on the calendar.
Representative Esgar. You all have heard the motion. There are no amendments at the desk. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members please vote. Okay. Someone check my calendar, so can I borrow one? Oh, thanks. You can have. Catlin, Landgraf, Tipperwill. Landgraf. Please close the machine. With 54 aye votes, 8 no votes, and 3 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is passed. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills.
Seeing no objection, we will proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1074.
House Bill 1074 by Representatives Ransom and Titone, also Senator Smallwood, concerning the authorization for special districts to provide for the collection and transportation of solid waste.
Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We move that we concur with the Senate amendment.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. I don't really understand the whole gobble thing, but that's what we do now. Representative Titone.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, this is nothing we did wrong here in the House. This was actually a mistake that was picked up by the drafters. It was a drafting error. They put the wrong number in the section they were referring to. That's all it is. Very simple. We ask you to support the motion.
Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And just to even make it more clear, they need to change 7.5D to 7.5. So there was an extra D in the bill that we just need to take out. We want to make sure that our bill goes into the right section of the code.
All right, the question before the House is to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1074. You guys can go back to your seats because you're going to have to vote. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please vote. McKean, Tipper, Catlin. Please close the machine. With 54 aye votes, 8 no votes, and 3 excused, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1074 is passed. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1074 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1074 as amended. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and please vote. Humphrey, McKean, Landgraf, Williams. Humphrey, please close the machine. With 49 aye votes, 13 no votes, and 3 excused. House Bill 1074 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Gregorio, please read the title of House Bill 1052.
House Bill 1052 by Representatives Carver and Singer, also Senators Gardner and Lee, concerning restrictions on making public the personnel information of certain employees at risk of threats relating to the administration of human services programs.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We move to concur with Senate amendments.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The amendment made by the Senate just provides clarifying language. The support staff that supports the human services workers in doing some of these sensitive tasks in at-risk children, at-risk adults, and other areas. It is the team, including the support staff, that are receiving the death threats that then qualify for the protections under this bill, and the Senate amendments just add clarifying language on that support team.
Representative, no, okay. The question before the House is to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1052. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please open the machine and please vote. Sandridge, please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, no votes, and 3 excused, Senate amendments to House Bill 1052 are passed. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1052 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1052 as amended. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Randall, please, or Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine and members, please vote. Please close the machine. With 62 aye votes, no votes, and 3 excused, House Bill 1052 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has adopted and transmits herewith SJR 20-018.
Introduction of resolution.
SJR 20-018 concerning declaring Colorado to be the most fitting permanent location for United States Space Command, and in connection therewith urging the Department of Defense to keep the United States Space Command in Colorado.
Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move we suspend the rules for immediate consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 18.
The motion is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of SJR 18. Seeing no objection, the motion passes. Representatives Carver and Snyder. Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We move SGR 20-018 and ask that it be read at length.
Please read the resolution at length.
Whereas our nation and the world had significantly benefited from technological and scientific advances resulting from space exploration and aerospace activities, and Colorado is paving the way for new discoveries in the frontiers of space by having a rich history in aerospace development and being at the forefront of space travel, exploration, and aerospace research. And whereas Colorado is ranked #1 in the country in aerospace employment with a strategically located aerospace center of excellence with over 30,000 Coloradans directly employed in aerospace and payroll exceeding $3.9 billion, an aerospace cluster that supports more than 190,000 jobs and 7.5% of Colorado's labor income derived from Department of Defense employment and 6.5% of the state's gross state product that is DoD related. And whereas Colorado is a leader for business growth with the #1 economy in the country in 2019, according to the U.S. and World Report, and ranked 4th in high-tech employment and 4th on State Technology and Science Index, supporting Colorado's position as a top aerospace state economy and workforce. And whereas Colorado's aerospace industry is home to a broad range of companies that create products and systems for commercial, military, and civil space applications such as spacecraft, launch vehicles, satellites, command and control software sensors, and navigation operations. These companies include Ball Aerospace, Boeing, Digital Globe, Harris Corporation, Lockheed Martin Space Systems, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Sierra Nevada Corporation, Teledyne, Brown Engineering, and United Launch Alliance, which make up the aerospace sector. And whereas Colorado is uniting global partners around the world to ensure space access for developing nations via the first planned United Nations space mission, Sierra Nevada Corporation, located in Louisville, Colorado, together with the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, will use its Dream Chaser spacecraft to allow developing countries the opportunity to develop and fly microgravity payloads for an extended duration in orbit. And whereas Colorado has an existing educated workforce ranked 2nd in the nation with residents with a bachelor's degree or higher and a pipeline of higher institutions to sustain future growth. We are home to the United States Air Force Academy and many colleges and universities, including the University of Colorado Boulder and the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, Colorado School of Mines, Colorado State University, Metropolitan State University of Denver, University of Denver, Colorado Mesa University, and Fort Lewis College. Altogether, they provide access to world-class aerospace-related degrees and offer aerospace companies one of the country's most educated workforces. And whereas Colorado is home to some of the most prestigious research institutions, such as the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics and the University of Colorado Boulder. It began in 1948, a decade before NASA, and is the world's only research institute to have set instruments to all 8 planets and to Pluto, combining all aspects of space exploration through science, engineering, mission operations, and scientific data analysis. And whereas Colorado is also home to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Space Weather Prediction Center, a world-leading center of predictions of the solar and near-Earth space environment, and the nation's official source of watches, warnings, and alerts of incoming solar storms, using satellite observations to protect and save lives and property. And whereas Colorado is strategically located at the center of our national and space defense, we are the home to 5 key strategic military commands: North American Aerospace Defense Command, United States Northern Command, United States Strategic Command's Joint Functional Component Command for Space Missile Warning Center, the United States Air Force Space Command, and the United States Army Space and Missile Defense Command / Army Forces Strategic Command, and 5 military installations, including the United States Air Force Bases Buckley, Cheyenne Mountain, Peterson, and Shriver and Fort Carson Army Base. And whereas the 460th Space Wing at Buckley Air Force Base provides operational command and control of 3 constellations of space-based infrared missile warning systems and has been defending America continuously since 1970, and is a critical part of a global defense and national security. And whereas Colorado is already the center for the United States military space operations and strategy, according to the Colorado Space Coalition, the state's military commands are the primary customers for space-based research, development, acquisitions, and operations, representing nearly 90% of space-related expenditure by the military. Moving the United States Space Command to any other location than Colorado will be incredibly disruptive to the national defense strategy. In addition, it will cause a major upheaval in existing infrastructure and jobs in the state, which will result in higher costs and less efficient outcomes for the United States military. And whereas Colorado leads the charge in bringing current and future global positioning system assets to life, a service provided from the operations of GPS satellites by Shriver Air Force Base to GPS-3, the most powerful GPS satellite to date, being designed and built by Lockheed Martin and launched by the United Launch Alliance, with Raytheon developing the command and control capabilities, and with companies such as Boeing, Harris Corporations, and Braxton Technologies and Infity Systems Engineering also supporting GPS development and operations from locations in Colorado. Our GPS technologies enable an integral part of our global economy to have an incalculable impact that has improved the everyday lives of billions of people around the world. And whereas various organizations are key to Colorado's prominence in aerospace, such as the Colorado Space Coalition, a group of industry stakeholders working to make Colorado a center of excellence for aerospace, the Colorado Space Business Roundtable, working to bring together aerospace stakeholders from the industry, government, and academia for roundtable discussions and business development and to encourage grassroots citizen participation in the aerospace issues. The Colorado chapter of Citizens for Space Exploration, whose mission is to promote better understanding of aerospace and its importance in our economy and daily lives, as well as to promote the importance of human space exploration. Manufacturers Edge, a statewide manufacturing assistance center that encourages the strength and competitiveness of Colorado manufacturers by providing on-site technical assistance through coaching, training, and consulting, by providing collaboration-focused industry programs, and by leveraging government, university, and economic development partnerships, and the Space Foundation, founded in 1983, with its world headquarters in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which holds an annual space symposium bringing together civil, commercial, and national security space leaders from around the world to discuss, address, and plan for the future of space now, therefore. Be it resolved by the Senate of the 72nd General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the Colorado General Assembly, recognizing Colorado's unique blend of military installations and major commands, private aerospace companies, academic and research institutions and government entities, and the valuable synergies this ecosystem provides, strongly urge the Department of Defense to keep the existing United States Space Command in Colorado. Furthermore, we strongly urge the Department of Defense to permanently base the United States Space Command in Colorado, recognizing that Colorado provides the existing command structure, base infrastructure, and communications platform necessary to successfully host additional national security initiatives and ensure coordination of efforts without committing restrictive additional funds. 3, proudly express that Colorado has deep ties with the Department of Defense and immense patriotic commitment to providing for the nation's security and bolstering our defense. 4, express our most sincere and deepest appreciation to our service members and civilian aerospace companies, military installations, and civil organizations in Colorado, and hereby declare Colorado to be the prime location for United States Space Command.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am thrilled to be a sponsor of this resolution, and it's a bit of a back to the future moment for me. I came to Colorado more than 20 years ago to take a job at Peterson Air Force Base, then in the legal office that supported U.S. Space Command. Yes, we did have a U.S. Space Command way back when at Peterson Air Force Base, as well as Air Force Space Command. And then the decision was made to do away with that command. And after the passage of time, the increasing importance of assets in space for both our civilian sector and economy, as well as national defense, there has been a recognition that we do in fact need a national level command for space. And so I am very happy to be here in support of this resolution and in full support of locating U.S. Space Command back to Colorado.
Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And first, I'd like to welcome some of our aerospace friends who, if you didn't get a chance to meet them down at the breakfast in the West Foyer this morning, we have some folks over here, and I just want to really thank you all for making the long trek over from the Senate to here to be here with us today. You know, I think we really perhaps don't understand. We had a lot of facts and figures in the resolution, but this is really the cutting edge of the future of the Colorado economy. So not only did we mention the large entities like Lockheed and Boeing and others, but we have hundreds of small businesses, startups that are really engaging in this space. So the Catalyst campus down in Colorado Springs started a few years back, bringing together a lot of startups and academics to see what they could do, is already outgrown their facility. They're looking at another additional 8 acres so they can add to that campus. It's such a dynamic area. We've got the Cybersecurity Center down in Colorado Springs, talking to a lot of the company representatives today. They're spending 20% of their operating budget on cybersecurity. That's an area that's not going away. These are areas that are going to directly affect the future of our country, of our national security, and Colorado is poised in a great position to be the leader in that area. So we're really excited to have this resolution today. I think this is really, if there's one thing we can do for the future of the economic security of Colorado is to support this. We don't know what's going to happen in November, who's going to be our president, but I think if we can speak with a unified voice for Colorado, it won't matter how that election turns out. We can maintain and prioritize Colorado as the future home for Space Command. So thank you all very much.
Representative Carver.
Madam Speaker, understand how important this is to the ecosystem of space exploration, travel from across the spectrum. Where we are in outer space exploration in human history is where we were when Orville and Wilbur Wright made the first aircraft. So it is these technologies and the synergy between military and civilian that is going to usher in a huge expanse of human activity in space exploration, space tourism, and all of that to make Colorado the center of that activity. So again, thrilled to be in support of this resolution.
Representative Snyder.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I was remiss in not pointing out that there is a reception at the Governor's Mansion later this afternoon for folks who would like to meet some of our wonderful aerospace folks. And then down at the lovely five-star resort, the Broadmoor, coming up in a week or two, is going to be a real opportunity down there at the Space Symposium. So thank you all very much.
Representative Geithner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I really want to take this opportunity to highlight that while my Air Force brothers and sisters are not the only one in support of Space Command, the Army is as well. So we have the 1st Army Space Brigade as well, which I used to be a member of. It's a multi-compo, so you've got active, you've got reservists, National Guardsmen, stationed in Building 3 there on Peterson Air Force Base. I have Schriever Air Force Base in my district, and of course Schriever will play a critical role in the support that we render to our airmen and those that serve in Space Force. And so I stand in strong support of this joint resolution.
Representative Larson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too just wanted to rise. So I represent South Jefferson County, and for those of you that don't know, we have one of the largest aerospace companies located down there. Lockheed Martin's space headquarters is in Littleton, Colorado, well, actually unincorporated Jefferson County. And I just wanted to come up and speak very fondly of them. I joke that I have one of the few districts where you can't make jokes about rocket scientists because there are so many of them. Chances are there is one in the room. But I just wanted to come down and speak in strong support of this resolution. We have the most aerospace jobs per capita of any state in the nation. We have the workforce. We have the companies. We are building the satellites for the future here right now, and it would only make sense that Space Command be located close to all of that talent. I also do want to give a brief shout out to former Representative Joe Rice, who is now with Lockheed Martin, and it's exciting to have him on the floor. So thank you.
Representative Baisley.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, I too live in Colorado, like Representative Carver. Thanks to the industry moving me here. So back when it was good old Martin Marietta, back in those days, served as chairman of the Colorado Space Business Roundtable for a couple years as well. And just want to shout out that this bill or this resolution is important, that we embrace this industry, which just permeates our entire economy. And the good folks in the aerospace companies, the large ones especially, reach out to rural Colorado. They reach out to the smaller companies to invite them to participate in all the incredible things that are happening. And every aspect of this industry happens here, from the launch vehicles, the satellites, the manned space vehicle that's being manufactured, the Orion, at Lockheed Martin. Incredible things are happening. The ground stations, every facet is represented here in the state of Colorado. We need to continue to invite them to grow and to be appreciated because we love them so much. And I also want to recognize former House member and now Lockheed Martin Representative Joe Rice. It's great to have you on the floor again, sir. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And you know, we've spoken mostly of the bases in the Springs, and rightly so. There are a number of them. I have the privilege to represent Buckley Air Force Base, which is the other one. You know, all of us in the Aurora community, on base, off base, we have a defense council of our Chamber of Commerce, so significant is the issue to us, have also been working on this issue to keep Space Command here. We may prefer that it land at Buckley, but we are united in the idea that it should remain here in Colorado. We benefit from what goes on in the Springs. The bases in the community in the Springs benefit from what goes on in Buckley. It's about $1 billion economic impact in our community, the base and everything that goes on around it. So I just like to come down here and speak in support and in defense of the ongoing work that happens at the 460th. Thank you.
Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Representative Weissman, for talking about Buckley. I had the privilege of serving there for 6 years in the Colorado Army National Guard, and it's a great installation and a great location. I just want to remind everybody in this chamber how important aerospace is to our service members, our men and women, the young men and women that we send downrange to defend this country and our national security. Because when we have the technological advantage in the battle space around the world, our young men and women's survivability rate increases exponentially to about 1,000 points or greater in survivability. We rely on this technology, and the industries that we're talking about that are downstairs represent what we do not only to maintain the United States of America as one of the greatest nations ever in the history of this planet, but also allows us to protect our young men and women when they go in harm's way. And I want that to continue. I think all of us that have service members in our families or have future service members that are going to join the military want that advantage. So I want to continue to promote that in Colorado. I'm in strong support of this resolution, and anything we can do to keep our young men and women out of harm's way and give them that technological advantage on the battlefield, I'm for it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just wanted to thank the sponsors for bringing this resolution. I wholeheartedly support it, and I appreciate the resolution itself. And at the risk of receiving a fine, I just have to say hello to my middle school National Academic League teammate. No surprise he's in this industry. Casey Medina, thank you for being here. Proud to see the work that you're doing and to see the great work that you are surrounding yourself with. Welcome.
Representative Escar, that's a $1 fine. Any other speakers on this resolution? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Joint Resolution 18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The resolution is passed. Mr. Gregorio, please open the machine for co-sponsors.
Oh. Does it do it differently?
Somebody asked.
Please close the machine. Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Minority Leader and I are going to make a quick announcement, and then we'll break to go into recess because we have nothing else to do today, so we can greet our guests. But we just want everyone to know that the governor did declare a state of emergency around COVID-19 while we were on the floor. We just want to make sure that you know that we're in touch. The executive committee is in touch with the governor's team. We're continuing to be briefed, and if there's ever any additional information that we can pass on to you, we will. But obviously, if you feel sick, or if your aides feel sick, or if your interns feel sick, please encourage them to stay home and create some social distance.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I think the main
purpose behind the state of emergency is actually to have a state lab in Glenwood. They're seeing a high cluster of cases, and my understanding is Eagle and Aspen, so they're going to build a lab in Glenwood so they can be tested immediately. So it's not like the governor has a lot of additional powers if he declares a state of emergency, but my understanding is that's really the main focus at this point in time.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader and Mr. Minority Leader. Are there any other announcements or introductions? I have one. Representative Kipp will replace Representative Jackson on Health and Insurance Committee today only. Representative Gonzalez Gutierrez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have requested tomorrow to be out from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. And I received approval from the Majority Leader.
So approved. Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor for me today to be able to introduce an elected official and not try to slip by the fines. So today we're joined by Fremont County Clerk and Recorder and my friend Justin Grantham, who is up in the balcony. And if the name sounds familiar, it's actually the son of past Senate President Grantham. So we welcome him to the chamber today. You can go ahead and stand up, Judge. There you go.
Representative Wilson, that's a $1 fine. You said it was who? Oh, it's an elected official. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm here with my colleague and co-chair, Representative Ransom. And we would like to have a tribute be read at length.
The House of Representatives, convened in the 72nd General Assembly, hereby extends sincere commendations to the creation of the U.S. Space Force. On December 20th, 2019, a new branch of the Armed Forces, the United States Space Force, was formed within the Department of the Air Force, the first since 1947. Now a vital national interest and critical domain, U.S. Space Force will protect and advance U.S. interests in space. On January 14, 2020, General J. Raymond was sworn in as the Chief of Space Operations for Space Force, currently located at Peterson Air Force Base in Colorado Springs, Colorado. General Raymond also leads U.S. Space Command. Currently, U.S. Space Command is being temporarily housed in Colorado Springs, and the state of Colorado is working to reestablish it here permanently. U.S. Space Force and U.S. Space Command are vital pieces to the Colorado aerospace and defense ecosystem. In addition to celebrating their contributions today, we also celebrate the contributions of Colorado aerospace companies, researchers, and educators working to further space exploration and defense with the annual Aerospace Day at the Colorado State Capitol in the Colorado General Assembly. Aerospace is a vital industry in Colorado, and our state is a national leader in aerospace jobs, technology, and research. Through strong partnerships between large and small companies, as well as a vibrant community of university and national laboratory researchers and our military installations, Colorado leads the way in aerospace and space exploration. On request of Representatives Kim Ransom and Donald Valdez, given this 10th day of March 2020, State Capitol, Denver.
Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And obviously, we were already working on this tribute before we knew the resolution was going to be here today. But what I do want to make sure everybody understands is that today is Aerospace Day at the Capitol. This is a fun day. If you haven't already been down on the first floor, please go visit the exhibits down there. There is such cool technology that I can't even begin to describe or explain here that you can learn. Please check out some of the exhibits, and there will be a fun lunch down there starting at 11:30. So please make sure that you stop in and pick up a lunch and say hi to some of our people that work in this industry.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, in one of my hometowns of Del Norte, we had an individual, his name was Ken Rominger. He was an astronaut, and here on the House floor, we also have an astronaut with us. Please stand. And as it is Aerospace Day here at the Capitol, I want to thank everybody who organized this, from former Representative Joe Rice and the staff and team. Continue. Please stand to be recognized here at Aerospace Day at the Capitol. And thank you, members. Let's give them a round of applause.
Representative Crafthart.
Business Affairs and Labor Committee will be meeting at 10:30 unless you're there beforehand, then we'll jump in and start earlier. Room 107, we'll be hearing 3 bills, Senate Bill 046, Senate Bill 026, and House Bill 1091. Thank you.
Representative McLaughlin. And Wilson and Jaquez Lewis.
We're just here to say that we're red tomorrow. It is public school day. They are going to have a lot of stuff down in the basement, including an omelet bar. So for those of you not paying attention, you're going to lose out. The rest of us will have delicious omelets in the morning. So anyway, we're here to celebrate public schools in Colorado tomorrow.
Representative Wilson.
Colleagues, tomorrow is public school day at the Capitol. Most of you are here as a result of somebody that taught you something at some time in your lives. So tomorrow will be the day that we will celebrate that.
Representative Jaquez Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, you have a flyer on your desk about the Mobile Innovation Lab. Check out their virtual augmented technology, 3D printing. It's a large bus from the St. Vrain School System. We'll be down on Broadway, and I'll put in a plug for the omelet bar tomorrow at 10. Yes.
Representative Buckner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I made a request through the Majority Leader's office to attend a funeral tomorrow from 11 to 1:30 for Landry Taylor. He was the head of the Urban League for many, many years here in Denver. And my leave was approved for those 2.5 hours.
Thank you. So approved. I did not know Landry passed away. That's so sad.
Yes, isn't it sad? And he was very young. I think he was only 64 years old.
Wow. Thanks for letting us know. Representative Escar.
Joint Budget Committee. I know that you all are so excited to hear this. We will meet upon adjournment of the Senate. I will text you when I know when that is.
Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Health and insurance. Today is do-over day in health and insurance. We are hearing House Bill 1319 and Senate Bill 102. Both are for action only. We'll be meeting at 10:30 or sooner in room 112. Please be there. I'm going to start marking people absent if I know you're here but not showing up. So I'm looking at you, yes. Thank you.
Representative Gray.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Transportation and local government. Today is the day you've been waiting for. We will be discussing standards for recording plats. House Bill 1318. We will also hear House Bill 1224, 1322, 1308, and Senate Bill 140. And we will meet at 10:40 as well in LSBA. See you then.
Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a reminder about the Caucus on Aging tomorrow morning at 7:30 in SCR 352. We're all aging, and we're emphasizing the workforce of those above 50 since by 2030, more than 1 in 4, 25% of those working in Colorado will be above 55. So come on down and learn about strategies to help our constituents. Thank you.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you, and members, I don't know if I can compete with Rep. Gray's offer of hearing about the recordation of plats, but in Judiciary this afternoon we are hearing House Bill 1290, House Bill 1330, House Bill 1152, and Senate Bill 88 beginning at 1:30 in room 112.
Are those the kids from Bear Creek Elementary? Hi, everyone. Welcome to your capital. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The House Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs will be meeting this afternoon at 1:30 in LSBA to hear House Bills 1313 and 1222.
Any other announcements or introductions? I didn't even hear. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in recess till later today.